Hello and welcome to Politics Today. I'm Farrukh Pitafi. Viewers, once again we are going to talk about Afghanistan. And when we actually decided that we are going to discuss this matter, at that time we did not know that Afghan Taliban will be declaring their interim government. So we are going to talk about that as well. Remember, in the intervening period, since last time we spoke about Afghanistan situation, a lot has changed. One thing that is important to remember is Panjshir. The value of Panjshir, the only holdout that was there from the opposition or resistance, has fallen to Taliban. That is not all. We saw, various other aspects, speculations in the international media, and then, of course, there is the element of Indian media that actually kept on showing a picture or video of an F-15 flying in the US and kept on claiming that it is basically Pakistan's plane inside Afghanistan. So when you have such a moronic kind of journalism going on in the region, one has to really look at things and take stock of things. But today, because there was this statement that only concluded an hour ago by Zabiullah Mujahid, the spokesman of Afghan Taliban, there are certain cards that we are going to read for you. There are details that are crucial. Let me quote what he has been saying. Number one, only the will of Afghans will be applicable in the country. After today, no one will be able to interfere in Afghanistan. The Taliban spokesperson, Zabiullah Mujahid. Then further, he goes on to say, the country will now be called the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. The heads of various other ministries will be appointed. Soon, all groups have been represented in the cabinet. Then he announced the name of various important people who are going to be appointed. Mullah Muhammad Hassan Akhund to be head of the new government. We are concluding that it will be Prime Minister post. If it is not, still he will be the head of the government. Then Taliban's deputy leader Sirajuddin Haqqani will be acting interior minister. Then Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar to be deputy head of the government. Mullah Amir Khan Muttaqi named foreign minister. Sher Muhammad Abbas Stanukzai to be caretaker foreign minister. He is someone we know and who is quite visible on international channels as well. Abdul Haq Wasik named as Minister for Intelligence, and Mullah Yaqub Mujahid, the son of Mullah Umar, the founder of Taliban, to be the defense minister. So this is what we know so far. There are two things. One, a good news that there is some kind of clarity about what kind of government there is going to be. One bad news, of course, this doesn't seem to be very inclusive government. When Zabiullah Mujahid was asked during the question and answer session, he said that it is not only caretaker setup, it is still incomplete, and we will announce when other people are included. So we are going to talk about all these matters and more in order to help us understand these issues. In the studio, we are joined by Khalid Taimur Akram Sahab, who is Executive Director, Center for Global and Strategic Studies. Thank you very much, sir, for being part of the program. Let me start with Khalid Taimur Akram Sahab. What do you make of this announcement, sir?
Yes, Taliban have just recently, just 2 hours back, they had announced their interim government. They are very cautious. They have said that they will be announcing the new appointments very soon because they have to include the other ethnic people in this, who are not included. So I would say that they are moving very cautiously. They are not giving any chance to the international media and to the foreign powers to criticize them. They are trying to behave very mature. And yes, they have. There was an agency to announce the basic structure of the government, because since 15th of August there was practically everything was standstill in Afghanistan. So I would say that this is a good start which they have taken, very cautious, but in days to come they are going to face serious problems, because still they are negotiating with the other ethnic groups for the inclusion in the government. We have been hearing in last couple of days that there have been quite uncertainties, but whatever they have announced today, they have repeatedly said, because I was hearing that press conference, he was repeatedly saying that all these are the acting appointments and new appointments will be included in that. It means that they are very cautious.
They might be very cautious, but we have been seeing Hamid Karzai, Abdullah, other people actually engaging in dialogue, and it doesn't seem that they have made their mark so far, right? On one side, that is the case. Then the international media keeps on bringing up the fact that half of these people, one of them is actually has returned from Gitmo. Sirajuddin Haqqani is on international terror watch, FBI's terror watch. So you were saying that they are not going to actually give any opportunity to the media or the international powers to criticize. But there we see names which actually create confusion.
Yes, but we have to see that who these people are and under what circumstances they were put on this terror watch list. Let me tell you that these are the same people with whom the US signed an agreement in February 2020. So they had acknowledged that, and now the US and the other powers, if they were ready to sit with them in February and ready to sign the agreement under pomp and show, and they had been negotiating with all of them in Qatar.
So that's a very good point, and let me remind everybody that while everybody keeps on talking about Haqqani, he was a gentleman who actually wrote an editorial piece, an op-ed for New York Times, and that was carried. Go figure. Khalid Taimur Saab, the economy is collapsing. Amenities are collapsing. Currency is collapsing. Inflation has become unbearable. Then we saw protests are there. And then propaganda will continue against whosoever actually finally forms the government. So do you think that at this moment Afghan Taliban, after forming the government, will be able to do justice to the Afghan people?
Yes, first of all, economy and currency, everything is linked to, as we know that Afghanistan is a landlocked country, and they are dependent on all the neighbors like Tajikistan, even China, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, Iran. They are all dependent on the neighboring countries, and the neighboring countries have already been giving them humanitarian support. We have seen Prime Minister Imran Khan talking to the United Nations Secretary General a few days back, and has been calling the United Nations to come forward and help the Afghan people.
And United Nations is going to hold a meeting on 13th on the matter.
Yes, one is this. Second, this, as Barrister Saab has already mentioned, that for economy and for all these things, what I know of the things that they are talking to various technocrats, and they are going to have various technocrats in their government. Yes, above the technocrats setup, all the ministers and all those things they are mullahs, and they are not very well educated from that aspect. But for running the government, they would require technocrats. They have to run their state bank, they have to run their currency, they have to bring their currency at par to the international standards. They have to fulfill all the international regulatory regimes. They have to have some system of passports, some system of visas and everything. So that complete setup was already there in Afghanistan. And of course,
people, many of whom were actually running the show, have actually left the country.
Yes, they have left the country. This is the biggest challenge for Afghans that at present there's nobody there to control their airports, there's nobody there to control their immigration system. So for that they would need time. They have to talk to the people at the grassroots level. They have to.
How much time? And they already took 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Actually, we have to see. We have to give them one credit that previously there was only one enemy. The enemy, all the Taliban factions were united against one enemy. That was to throw out the foreign forces out of their land. So after all the foreign forces have left, so now they have to sort out the issues among themselves. We have Uzbek ethnic Taliban, we have Tajik ethnic Taliban, we
didn't see any of those ethnic Taliban being represented in the cabinet.
Yes, that is why if you see
Hazara, the day we discussed that they have actually appointed a mayor who is Hazara, and we haven't seen any Hazara represented.
That is why if you see that I'm calling today's press conference as a very cautious press conference, because at least for 20-30 times Zabiullah Mujahid used this word that this is an interim government and we are going to include more people in days to come. Yes, they are talking with Uzbek ethnic Taliban.
Can you qualify the mandate of an interim government? Is it an interim decision or is it an interim government? Because interim decision means that tomorrow they are going to add more and then it is going to take final shape. But if it is an interim government, that means they are going to dissipate eventually and there is going to be a new government.
There is going to be, however things are moving, there will be a new government because this government is considered of only two factions. So at present there are many other factions which have to be included in the government.
Right.
So if right now if they have announced, for example, 10 ministries, and if those 10 ministries are given to two factions, so once they have to adjust the other factions, they have to tell some of their people
so
to come down.
An interim
yes,
decision.
it is an interim.
Prime Minister is not going to change.
Yes, and why Mullah Hassan Akhund became the head of the state, because up till now, head of the government he has been made, because previously it was not there and we were hearing some other news.
Yeah.
But then last couple of days had been quite rocky for them because they had been negotiating and there was no other consensus being developed on any name.
Currency. Do you think it is going to collapse? Because today the word had it that today they have some kind of reserves or some kind of ability to carry on with the currency. Tomorrow, by evening, it might collapse.
Yes, this is going to collapse till the time the US does not releases the reserves. Number one, the state bank has to function. Their currency mechanism, the printing of the currency and everything is stopped. Yeah. So practically Afghanistan has to start from zero. Yeah. They have, as we have seen, they have again changed the flag. So up till now we are not clear that which is going to be the official flag, because
are they going to have a constitution?
Yes, they have to change the constitution because...
No, are they going... Last time they were in power, they didn't have any constitution, did they?
But now I think they will have. They will have because, as I said, that let's not compare the Taliban of 1996 with these Taliban. These Taliban are very well educated. Now they know the norms of the world. They know how to use social media. They are already present on social media. They even know the power of media, because today... during the press conference, he had the list of all the foreign journalists, and he was himself, the spokesperson, was
calling out the names.
Calling out the name that okay, AP would ask the French. So they know how to manipulate with the media.
Yeah, but here's again another problem. Doha Accord was signed between Doha office and the US, right? The signatory was Mullah Baradar. Mullah Baradar now has been, downgraded. He is not going to be the head of government. What becomes of those assurances?
Actually, we have seen during the last couple of weeks that Doha Accord has neither been followed by the Americans nor been followed by Taliban. So, with the collapse of Ashraf Ghani government, most of the contents of the Doha Accord are already, I would say, they have just flushed away with the rain. and Doha Accord in days to come will not have any significance, because Doha Accord did not cater for the Taliban government. Doha Accord did not cater for the collapse of the Ashraf Ghani government.
Right.
So with the running away of Ashraf Ghani, the way he ran away without negotiating with them, and there was practically no government in Afghanistan. So the Doha Accord significance is already gone down the drain. So I don't think that both sides, neither the Americans are going to look back towards that, nor the Taliban are going to look back towards them.
Right.
Now they have to have some kind of new regime, some kind of new accords internationally.
Right. It's Khalid, Taimur, Akram sir, thank you very much, sir, for your precious time. Viewers, this was today's program. There are developments that are unfolding and will continue to unfold. So we will keep on bringing discussions on these matters to you. This was today's program. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.